Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC, on WHTC.com, and on the WHTC app for your smartphone. Once again, here's your host, Gary Stevens.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town for this Thursday, December 14th. When he became president, and eventually president and CEO of Holland Hospital in 2002, his ascension to that position was one of the first stories I covered when I came into Holland in October of 2001. Since then, I have been following his career throughout, and this morning, Dale Sowders will be stepping down, announcing the hospital announcing that he will be stepping down from the CEO and vice board of chair of directors at the end of January, although he will continue to be the vice chairman of the board of directors through 2024. Dale Sowders on the other end of our phone line this morning. Dale, good morning. It is a pleasure to chat with you once again.
Good morning, Gary, and the pleasure is also mine. I'm glad that you referenced our beginning. I intended to just thank you and the station because I clearly remember when I was given this opportunity publicly, this is where we started, and now we get to talk today about a month before this winds down. So it is truly a pleasure to speak with you in particular, and of course we've talked from time to time along the way. So thank you for your support and your interest.
Thank you very much. And in the interest of transparency, I have used Holland Hospital services most recently in my rehab from my heart bypass surgery of last year, and found my experience with Holland Hospital to be very, very satisfactory. So indeed, as a contented patient at Holland Hospital, we thank you for that. Dale, this is sort of a process, and I think part of it goes, you have to stand back to last spring when the succession plan really started to be put into place. You had stepped down as president but remained on as the CEO, and this is sort of like part of the process, isn't it?
Well, it definitely is, and that's an excellent word. The organization is made up, of course, the fundamental component here is people. And we were in a situation here at Holland where several of the executive staff who have worked together for 20 years, which is amazing, and that certainly has been a gift to me, and I can't emphasize that point enough, but several of us were in the same age range, and we felt, Gary, that it's only responsible to the community and to the staff that we have an orderly succession, and that several people don't wind down their time at the organization at the exact same time. That's just not good continuity. And in working with our board, we've been able to do that in segments, and I'm excited for the future, for the folks that will be following, and I certainly have had the privilege of working with I just can't imagine a better group of people.
Dale Sowders, over the 20 years you have been at Holland Hospital in a leadership position, if you can look back on those 2 decades, what one thing or maybe 2 things stand out as legacy that will be left behind, not so much by you, but by the team itself in the 20-year span?
Well, I appreciate that question very much, and the primary one that I would point to is that as we began our journey and we began to form with a new leadership, because that's what it was, back to this notion of this is all about people, we got to know each other. We began to recognize the strengths and some of the things that we needed to work on individually. We had the luxury of time and the support of both the medical staff and the board to identify where could things be strengthened. And Gary, I think that what we discovered, and this was back to your other word, process, gosh, we might be able to take this higher on our standard and what we expect in terms of outcome from one another and in terms of the best possible care, because that's what this is all about, that we could provide to the community. And I think we discovered, quite frankly, we could go further than maybe we ever imagined. And we've had a whole lot fall in our lap in terms of just excellent medical staff, clinical staff, support staff, people hungry to work as a team to do right by the community. And when you can just line up objectives and energy in that fashion, really special things can happen, and I think that's what took place. So if you pointed to just one in the question that you framed, that would be it. There's a lot of metrics we could point to, but this culture that we have of focused on people within and without, and to push ourselves to the heights as far as we can go, that's what I find a collection of legacies. Certainly wasn't just me, but I was able to help facilitate there, and I'm so thankful that's what we were able to take to this point. And now there's another phase that goes after this, of course.
Two more questions, Dale Sowders. First of all, while Holland Hospital has a great working relationship with other medical care facilities, it is still, in my perception, to be independent. It is not part of a chain of medical care facilities owned by a larger entity where others in our region have been. How important has it been that Holland Hospital is still, to a certain extent, independent?
Well, it's baked into our vision statement explicitly, and it remains so, to be the preeminent standalone hospital along the lakeshore. So we appreciate that question and very actively and transparently talk about that among the leadership of the institution. We've got this recent affiliation that has been spotlighted just a week ago with the University of Michigan. And, Gary, it's back to relationship. It's back to do we have a common vision for how we can work together to provide the best available care to the community. And that's what that's about. That's a relatively recent journey. It's just over the last couple of years. I might point out the degree of difficulty here. Holland Hospital, with our 100-plus year history, we're one of only 4 independent hospitals in this state out of about 150. So we feel pretty good about that, but it is the challenges are before us each day, and those will remain.
The other question is more of a broader question beyond Holland Hospital, based on developments over the last 3 years, basically since March of 2020, when the COVID-19 outbreak came upon not only the lakeshore, but across the country. And the view of healthcare has changed since that time. Dale, what do you see for the healthcare industry, at least in the short term, looking forward, now that you are stepping down as the CEO of Holland Hospital? Are you concerned about the future, or do you feel that healthcare's future is still pretty bright?
Well, I think the future for healthcare is bright. Back to people, we continue, and we're so fortunate in this community, and this is really, Gary, I might say, just an acknowledgement I would like to extend to this community, because this West Michigan area, and Holland in particular, is a marvelous place to live. And I'm pleased to say to you and to this community, we have not had difficulty finding people, excellent people, that want to live and work here in healthcare. For that reason, I believe the future is bright. For the whole nation and this region, healthcare is an enormous challenge. We're choosing to take that challenge and to deal with it, but it is honestly a daunting task with all the different players that are involved, from the state to the government, employers, payers. It is an enormous matrix to organize and try to align, but this is what we like to do, and I believe, too, I know the future is good for Holland with the people that are dedicated to managing that in the very best way possible on behalf of the community.
Dale Sowders, on behalf of our listeners, we want to say congratulations on your time as the leader of Holland Hospital, first as president, then as president, CEO, and then as CEO. We want to thank you for your service to our community, and we hope to be able to chat with you again soon as you move on to the next challenges that face you. Dale, thank
Gary,
you.
that would be my pleasure, and thank you for what you do, and thank you, Holland, for this journey. It has been my privilege.
Dale Sowders, thank you very much on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.